Hello and welcome to my page. We're going to hurry up and try to get the most done just in case we don't have time to see what we did and we don't necessarily know what the dates were, and it doesn't really necessarily totally matter, but it does and it doesn't. So this is the things that we looked up, and all we're doing is making sure we don't fuck anything up and we don't miss stuff. And this is the Pentagon, and when we called because we were being radiated and we needed information, and that's the situation. We wanted to know who Colin whatever this was. We're not going to read everything. It's not a must. We just have to get through it, and that's the cost of life, because we have too many things we have to do, and they have tried to make my life miserable too. And basically I found out today that in fact they took out all of my emails, which I sort of had a bad feeling about and knew it was going to be hard and sort of useless to try to fix it. And that's not what it's really going to be, because I am going to document the world, because actually with integrity they've tried to take everything from me basically. And have you ever seen somebody's email that doesn't have anything? That's the kiss. And so we are looking at everything, and not just Christmas, because this is what we're doing and this is our love. And this is how we spent our time in Delaware Dove. This is our Delaware time, and we have to look at it according to 9 lives, because that's what you're going to need if you don't get me fast. So kiss, 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 kiss. I can't understand how many things that you can't get done because of what they try to take every time you do a damn thing. And that's what we don't understand, is why you think this is important, said Mr. Bellardo, who isn't really allowed to be your FBI contact to the military. Well, because why not? Because you said so. And because we decided he can't be, said the FBI, who knows you left his phone number. And yes, you have the authority to leave FBI contacts. So we should leave a lot of FBI contacts. And why? Did you leave him? Because we decided to, and that's the kiss, because yep, he's just a useless guy. Not a useless guy, but he's a guy who is, yep, a state trooper who's known me for a very, very long time. And yep, that's it. That's why we did it. And that's Bob Dole, and that's the toll. We're looking at him, and they're going to bring up other useless things, and Joseph and Santa Monica, and this is Joseph Deering, and this is important information and not things we're clearing. So we are just not going to tell you what not to do, because they take out stuff for my assistant too, and that way she has everything here, and that's all we can tell you, dear. And this is Elizabeth Warren's contacts, and we called her a bunch of times, and that's not an asshat move, because yep, she's a Democrat, and yep, we need to do it, and yep, we need to call everybody and put them to it, because she is not the worst. And Tanya thinks that she, even though she's a Democrat, would not approve of what has happened to me. And this is about Bob Dole, as you can see. And we are looking up this stuff because this is not Christmas, and we love you, Chris, and this is not a Chris Christmas, and Chris missed a Chris Christmas, and that is true, and that's the problem. He's not that blue, because now he knows that you've had a harder time than him, and he's not responsible for most of your problems, and he actually did think he was, and that is not true, Chris, and he did not know that. But after spending this Christmas with me and seeing how everything has been taken out with no integrity, he knows that it's not his fault, and that's the whole point. This is not all the information that has not been in the joint. And this is about Massachusetts, and this is about the mayor, and this is not about the miners, and this is not about the players. This is about the poop and not the scoop. The poop and not the scoop, but where's the scoop? That's not the poop. The poop is not the scoop, guys. Where's the pooper scooper, and where's the person who makes the poop? And this is what we're doing real quick. And this is not Christmas, so kiss my ass it is. So kiss, 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 kiss. Because we don't know what we need, and this way, yep, we have all of it in Godspeed. Because with entertainment, and that's true. And yes, Roseanne Barr, we know her too. Yes, we do, and we don't, because, yep, my friend knew her very well and could have been Mr. Barr. But yep, he didn't do it, and that's not the star. No, he wasn't the star. He worked there, and that's not the bar. Nope, it's not a bar. He was on every single show, and that's the horse. He's dead now, and that's not a horse. Yep, we saw a horse the other day, and that's the problem we did. And it was walking away, and it was going past the garden. And that's what makes us sad, and that's why we had to come back, because that's our dad. And we love him, and he needs to stay, and he wants to go because, yep, he wanted to go. But why did you have to come back? Because he didn't want to see you ever again, said no one. Because I thought you might have, and that's what's wrong, said Yeshua. He really can't handle this now because, yep, he's excited because he understands that what happened to him was not a broadband. And yep, it was simple and it was not good. And what happened to him when he didn't have backup too? And that's the thing. He was the backup for you, but nobody backed him up, and that's not true. He had backup, but it didn't come much, and that's the problem. It wasn't much. He thought that he could handle it, and he might have, except for it was tiring, and that's the problem. He didn't know what had expired, and you didn't know because why? You were out to eat without a sky, said Yeshua. That's the whole thing. We're writing a song, we're writing a myth, we're writing what's wrong. As we write all this stuff down that we can freeze, and then we know how not to please, because nobody is going to really want to read this. But yes, that's the whole thing. That's just the kiss. We're just getting it done. It's just a kiss, and that's the miss, because there's a lot to do with the world today, and those things link up in every way. And yes, this is about the leadership and what goes on, and yes, we need to understand our Congress better and all their posts and international things and what's happened when and why somebody will not want to ever wear that sweater, because they don't like sweaters, and some people like them, and some people are them. And this is our kiss, because this is the beginning of our big celebration, and this is the thing we want to find true, and we will start at the beginning for you. This is pretty good information. We want to read it.
I am a large language model and do not have access to your personal history, including past lookups or searches you may have performed. I don't store any history of your interactions with me, other than what's needed for the current.
Okay, so we missed that, and that's okay. Let's look at this and see what it says today. Sure, here's an image. Why did it go? Why did somebody take my image without the snow? That is not cool. That's not our truth. We want to get what we need from our boot. I guess they tried to send me everything that they think they should have done. So here's some stupid images, and I don't know why we decided to try to do things without a pie. But that's the problem. There is no pie because we don't want to cry, said God and country. Don't want you in the bathroom because this bathroom has problems. It does. The other bathroom had problems, but this one's worse because, yep, there's something wrong and there's a curse, said Yeshua. Is it just because we're letting them come? We don't know, said the monsters in the bathroom. They haven't, just one. And here's some water storage furniture, true. And this is not the stuff that we want to tell you. We looked at it and we decided it's not that blue, and that's the reason we don't love you. And this gave me an idea that's true, and that's why we started to do the other two. And this is the progression that we went through, and this is interesting information. We have to tell it too.
Here's an image of a water storage furniture side table, inspired by Tonya Wallstad Miller's designs, with a bird bath-like pedestal concept and a red moon theme for your living room.
Yep, I put in my own name. And that's not the worst. She could have done worse. Yep, it's not the best. It could have done better.
Here's a concept image of a water storage table with a red moon aesthetic, reflecting Tonya Wallstad Miller's innovative patent idea. While I can create conceptual images based on your description of water storage furniture, I cannot access real-world patent databases or legal documents from federal court systems. My abilities are limited to generating images and text based on the information I've been trained on, and I don't have access to real-time, private, or secure databases like patent offices or court records. However, I can certainly visualize what water storage furniture might look like based on your concept. Here are a few images that imagine such furniture, blending aesthetics with the function of water storage, as if it were a design concept presented. Here's an image of a conceptual design for water storage furniture, focusing on a sleek and modern aesthetic. Sure, here is the image. Here is some artwork for silver underwear that is jewelry-like, stretchable, wearable, antibacterial, infection-resistant, and sexy, featuring women posing together.
And that's the crutch of it, guys. Right there. And this is the question that I put in there.
Here is an image of silver underwear for women that is very sexy but also looks like high-end sportswear, suggesting a value far exceeding a ring. Here's an image of silver underwear with a silver moon theme, incorporating elements that suggest a business owned by Tonya Wallstad Miller.
Good God, so like, he didn't know he did this. Good night. We got men's too. He's not interested, so nobody.
Here is a one-line drawing-style image for silver underwear, rendered as if it were an official patent drawing, incorporating the silver moon theme and Tonya Wallstad Miller's name.
And this is what Steven wanted to make sure we got. So God.
Here is an image of silver underwear in a bikini style with a soft, sexy feel.
You're right, so Michael, this is way...
Belize's history from the 1980s to today is characterized by its post-independence journey, marked by political transitions, economic shifts, a persistent territorial dispute, and significant demographic changes. Post-independence, 1980s. Belize achieved independence from the United Kingdom on September 21, 1981, with George Price of the People's United Party, PUP, as the first prime minister. Key developments in the 1980s include political transition. The PUP, which had dominated pre-independence politics, was defeated in the first post-independence general election in 1984 by the United Democratic Party, UDP, led by Manuel Esquivel. Price returned to power in 1989.
What happened just now? Did they take me out? They take my silver out? They did. It said, kiss my ass. They took it right under my nose. They just took my silver out under my nose, guys.